Hello, everyone. It's Mark Gilliard again, welcoming you to your new favorite song here on AIM Country Music Television. My guest today is Matt Tucker. He was born and raised in a musically inclined country music loving family in South Carolina. Matt feels like he always loved to sing. His influences include the pillars of country, guys like George Strait, Alan Jackson, Johnny Cash, and Conway Twitty. But he also leans in on some more modern artists like Jason Aldean and Chris Stapleton, Blake Shelton, Luke Bryan, and Kenny Chesney. Pop him up on Spotify and you can hear hints of his heroes and an original sound that is all Matt Tucker. Matt has a five-piece band that brings a high-energy show with an occasional rocky feel to it. They've made a real impact in the Southeast U.S. and now they're gunning for the rest of us. If you have a chance to catch Matt Tucker and company in your area, don't miss it. You'll experience a crowd-pleasing performance showcasing Matt's original songs while covering some old favorites and some current hits. Matt's here today to talk about his new song, American Dreamer. So let's get him in here right now to talk about what might just be your new favorite song. Welcome, Matt. Thanks for coming on the show today.
Mark, thanks for having me on, buddy. I appreciate your time today.
Well, you're very welcome. I guess probably our best shot is to get rolling with you telling us all about you. Just give us the full
Sure.
introduction, what got you interested to start with, your influences, where you're headed. Just flesh it out for us.
Okay. Well, so 2000, let's jump back to 2008. Is about the time I picked up a guitar. Um, at that time, I was early 20s, just out trying to do my thing and get started in life. Along comes my son that I'm learning he's coming along, in which kind of ties me to the house. My goal was, you know, at that time, what did I really want to do? I still wanted to be out with my friends. So I thought of this idea. Well, if I learn how to play guitar, maybe I can get it where they are and make money around them at the same time. So my dad was a guitar player, singer, and growing up, just around locally from where we are from, around the Rock Hill, South Carolina area, which is basically a suburb for the Charlotte, North Carolina area. My grandfather was a bluegrass picker. He played banjo. So I kind of grew up and, seeing this stuff, hearing it, growing up around the house. I was the first child for my parents. So, I was pretty much a part of any and everything they did. So my dad's gigs, he would take odd and end jobs sometimes. I remember him running bars for friends and stuff like that. So just being around it. And when I decided to play, I told my dad, I said, "Hey, listen, I actually want to try to play guitar and make this a thing. I really like singing, and I think guitar helped me, So he's like, "Well, you know how to do it. I've showed you. Just you got to sit down and take the time to do it." So, I had a diagram that he had drawn out for me with G, C, and D chords on them, and I sat down and got in front of YouTube at the time and learned and taught myself how to play guitar. And in about 6 months, I was out playing gigs with my dad. We formed a little duo. We started a two piece, and we had a machine that played our drums and bass for us that we had to program off, which is very common still, but back then it was a little different than it's done now. So anyway, we do that. We took our first gig at American Legion. I'm sorry, not American. We played in American Legions as well, but our first gig was a VFW, Veterans of Foreign War Club. So I heard a lot of war stories. I grew up in a family of military men, and not everybody, but we had, my grandfathers were in the war, and I had a lot of friends that were in and out of the military. So and then, you know, basically cutting my teeth in the music industry in a VFW hall. I heard that was all I knew, So, um, hence where this song we're going to talk about probably was very influenced by. So, from there, a few years later, after playing with my dad a few years, I formed my own band locally around the Charlotte market, and we started venturing out. And through the years, ended up starting to play. Today, we kind of have played all over the U.S. For the most part, I haven't been as far away past Nebraska yet in the U.S., but we've played quite a bit of places around, especially for being an independent artist all them years. So, um, it's been a fun journey, and I've concentrated on songwriting through the years as well because I really like writing. Went to Nashville in 2013, recorded my first project, and now I'm on number four. My first full album project just released. So just enjoying it and learning about it. And I think it's really music itself has helped me grow as a man. I feel like it into an adult, I guess you would say. So I've learned a lot of things. If it wasn't for music, I never would have traveled. So I've got a very close passion and love for my music, so
you have a full band that plays with you all the time, right? I mean, a core group of people that you count on for your live shows.
I do. I've I've had to kind of create a network of guys in different areas, regions of the United States sometimes, just because, we a lot of times these guys are still, including myself, are still working full-time jobs.
Right.
We're
Yeah.
doing
Like you
this.
have,
Yeah,
like you refer to blue collar quite a bit, and
I do.
you have a company, Blue Collar Roofing, right? Is that
I do.
correct?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
I grew up
Yeah.
the blue
Well, you have
collar
the shirt
way,
on.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I'm working. I'm working today.
Hey, we got to do something while
Yeah.
the music is out there getting started.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. So that's kind of where I'm at. I've kind of, I think, found this niche, I guess, for what I want to say with my music now, and like where I am in life. I got kids, a family. I've got all this, so I try not to. As far as the party songs, they're not. They're fewer of them, but they're still there. If that makes
Yeah.
sense. So
Yeah, they are. It becomes more of a balance at some point, doesn't it?
sure. Yeah, absolutely. It
Well,
absolutely does.
I was looking through your YouTube and I found well, easy to find because it's close to the top, but you have a song where you're sitting there and it's from the Blue Collar Lounge. But
Yes.
that comes across well, though. I mean, how are you mic'd there? Because you hear a lot of those where everything's kind of hollow and you can't hear it. But yours, that one, what's "Take Me," I think is the name of the song. It's one from one of your
Well,
earlier
I'll be
releases.
honest with you, man. That was just my iPhone, honestly.
Well, it's set up pretty right then because people should go check that one out because that one it comes across really well. Guy with an acoustic guitar relaxing on the couch playing his song.
Cool. Well, that's a new thing. I'm glad you like that setting. So that's my blue collar roofing office, and I just turn the camera to the couch, and I just kind of sit there, and I'll be honest with you, that's my. If you heard of a she shed, you know, so that's my he shed. I guess that's where I go, get out there and figure out what's going on up here. Just sometimes I'll just sit and I got a guitar hanging on the wall, and I'll grab it. I've got camera mount set up to where if I want to throw my phone there and record what I'm doing, because you never know, it might be some content, and that's exactly where the ended up getting that video out of it. So
Well, it's fantastic. Like I say, people should check it out.
thank you, and that's an older song. Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah, you were saying in there that it's like from like well maybe one of your early releases, and would that be 2013?
Yeah, well, so actually, I released it, and technically, the release was more of a demo. Now you would call it. Now I would call it a demo. Back then, it was, oh yeah, this is it. I didn't know any better. But that's part of the process. But yeah, it was actually on my second. That was on my second project. Although it was probably one of the first songs I wrote. It the song itself. You need to listen to it. It's called "Take Me." It's just about my journey, like wanting to do it. That's basically what it's about. Just wanting to do music, and that's what it came from.
Well, what would you say some of your influences are that aren't family? Because it looks like your dad and your grandpa were both pretty
For
strong
sure.
influences. But what other music is it that you like, kind of your go-to that actually speaks to you that does change how you write, how you sing, that kind of stuff?
Well, I was speaking on songwriting earlier. The older I get, the more I fall in love with that part of things because obviously living life itself, you find things to write about. So that I've really liked a lot more. So as I get older, I harness in on these guys that really have done it and songwrite more. Randy Houser is one of my influences. Trent Thomas, and I can go on and on with artists, lists of songwriters. I think it's just for me. I like all music, and obviously my voice, like I always say, my voice fits country, so it makes sense for me to sing it. As well as growing up in a household with my dad, where all he was playing was Keith Whitley, Conway Twitty. And then when 90s country kind of came in, it was Alan Jackson, George Strait, Travis Tritt, that sound. So I grew up embedded with old sounds embedded in my head as a kid to being able to choose my own music. And then, growing up, I'm a 90s kid growing up in the 90s. So 90s, you ask anybody from my era, 90s was it was the what, it was it. That was our jazz, man. That was, so it's just an influence of things I grew up with, music I like, artists I like. You'd be surprised how much hip hop and R&B stuff I like. And if you could just listen to some of my writings, it reflects into some of those songs, and then it translates through my voice to whatever people I can get to listen to.
Yeah, well, yeah, you have a pretty unique voice, but like you say, definitely country. You definitely have the edge that makes country a logical thing. And then I think you've also picked up where your songs have that storytelling line going through them, so that it's not just the song, not just the party. It's you have a lot of things that are kind of following a track to a story that I really like.
Cool.
Yeah. What are some of the songs you play in live situations that are outside of your own songs? Because everybody has to play other stuff. What kind of songs do you and the band play when you're in a live situation other than your own?
Well, it reflects exactly what I listen to. It's obviously mainly country. We'll pull some old school stuff out, Johnny Cash. I love some of the new stuff. I mean, we keep it old school top 40 to new school top 40, and not just country. I mean, I'll do some Kid Rock. I mean, back in the day when we played a lot of clubs, man, we were playing little John Yin Yang Twins and whatever else got them on the dance floor. So the entertaining part, you had to adapt.
I hope there are videos of those somewhere, because I need to see those.
If you dig, you can find some awesome videos back when I was running the club scene a lot, and just being young, just enjoying it.
Yeah, exactly. When you gotta find what you're good at that you like to do. It has to kind of be both things. And
Absolutely.
back to your stuff. Which songs when you're playing live, which songs get the best reaction? The line dancing, slow dancing, sing-alongs. Which ones of yours are striking a note with people?
Well, I would say I've got a song called "Screw." It was out on my 2017 project, and that's a fan favorite. It's a great bar song, club scene. So we get good reactions from that. Blue Collar Anthem. You were speaking about Blue Collar earlier. Blue Collar Anthem was on that same album. And then all my new stuff's really starting to get quick traction on some of these shows I'm playing now. So American Dreamer is a new song of mine that I think we're talking about.
Yes, sir.
It gets great reactions. There's this new album has been a big project for me. So I had some of these as singles out first. So there's a song there, My Kind of Time. Well, it's actually my kind of time. It's more of a rock edge song. Probably those. In My Blood gets really good reaction. It's an older song. It's especially the stuff that one's focused more towards like the military feel type thing. So stuff like that's focused in that direction really does well for us. Again, I was some of my core fan base came from the VFW American Legion halls, so those go well over with my fans whenever we play them live. But at the same time, I mean, we like to have fun too. So we put sometimes it's pull one out of the hat and see how it goes in this location or this venue, whatnot. So
exactly. So how many songs are on this new release?
My newest album has 16 songs.
It's Untucked.
The album is titled Untucked. That's correct. It's on all streaming platforms. I've even got physical CD copies this time.
Whoa.
It's something I always dreamed of myself when I got into music. When I grew up, we went to the store and bought the album, pulled out the booklet so we can learn the lyrics. And that's what I did. I made me a CD with a booklet in it with lyrics for each song. So we sell those at shows, and they're great, man. It's really cool. So, but yeah, like I said, that album is on all streaming platforms. And gosh, it's been a great one. I've spent quite a few years putting it together, and honestly, most of it came during COVID. If I wrote a lot of it during COVID, co-wrote it. There's only one song on the album that I didn't have a part of writing. That's the track called Tiny Towns. And that song's done very well for us. We get a great reaction live with that song. It's actually a theme song for a show on the Outdoor Channel. It's a show called Renovation Hunters on the Outdoor Channel. Pretty cool. That was a fluke thing. I kind of knew somebody. It just happened. It's just keep grinding, man, and try to make it happen. So, yeah, that was a deal. I recorded those 13 songs in Nashville during COVID. The first 13 were in Nashville during COVID. And then I added, and that was going to be the album. That was going to be it. Well, I added 3 more songs, and I did those around the Charlotte area. And they were just singles that I had out in the meantime, and they did well. They were fan favorites, especially online, just pulling stats that way. They did well. So I threw them on the album as bonus tracks, and everybody seems to be happy they're on there. So that's how we ended up with 16.
Well, back in the days of records, that'd be a double album, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I did good. But now you look at Morgan Wallen and all these other guys putting out 34 songs at a time. I'm like, man, what's 16 songs now?
How do I keep up with that, right?
Right, yeah, for sure. But no, it's been great, man. We've enjoyed all of it. I'm just looking forward to what keeps coming on the road ahead, man. I just want to keep making the music and writing the songs. I don't stop working. I just try to keep getting after it.
Well, I think you're on a good track. We're here today to talk about your new release, American Dreamer. That thing's been streamed on YouTube over 33,000 times already. I just looked at it this morning. What made that thing get such good traction so easily, you think? Because that one just sailed.
Well, I can tell you on our end, it hasn't been easy. We've had to work hard. But I would say what took it, gave it a quick takeoff was we filmed this video at a military base in South Carolina. It's called McIntyre Joint, and it's shared with the Army and the National Air Force. So it's National Guard basically. So it's a National Guard base, and you got 2 divisions of the military there. We had to go through, get top security clearance. We had to get in touch with Department of Defense. So luckily, I knew some people in government, made a phone call and asked, how hard would this be to record on? I asked for a government building, not necessarily like a military base. So being there, that was surreal itself. Like we spent hours just taking a tour and checking out things, because these are things you don't get to see in an everyday situation. So it was awesome. So I think that definitely helped, having that, and we built it up much as we can. We're still pushing it again. And again, like the song came from the heart. Me and 2 other buddies of mine wrote it in Nashville. Basically, it was during COVID. Basically, is our view on what does it mean? What is an American dream, or what is it to come to America and live the dream? And that was just that's kind of our view on things, and also to touch base on the things we should just don't forget to appreciate why we are American dreamers, because it's not just us, the person that you're looking at in the mirror that has this dream or wants to do, and then it's not always revolved around us, although sometimes we probably think that way if we just look at what's really, so that's where the song came from. It's just the backbone of America, our military, and just what it means to be here and live in this great country.
Yeah, well, I think it hits the heart, and I think it's the surroundings that you pulled off there really, really just drive it all the way home.
Awesome, man. I'm glad to hear that. That's it. I love the video. Couldn't be more proud of it. Especially, with the team, we had to put it together, and we're doing this on a certain budget. We're doing with the best we can with what we got, and just keep moving forward. So yeah, just that song is a big deal to us, and super proud of it.
Well, I think you're all doing a good job. I think it's time to play it. Are you ready?
Absolutely. Let's check it out.
Awesome. You're watching Matt Tucker's video for American Dreamer on AIM Country Music Television.
In this town, every bar knows everybody by their first name. Feels good to be around, but Hollywood is just just a wish away. Couple cars, couple kids, pretty house with a picket fence. Beauty queen, diamond ring, football star, maybe president. Anything you want or who you wanna be, you can be. Just remember those who make this life so easy. Raise them up to the small town believers. Hats off to the fighters and the leaders. Here's to you, here's to me, here's to us being free. Raise them up to the highway bleeders. Hats off to the farmers and the preachers. Say a prayer for the ones that allow us to be the American dreamer.
Go ahead, but it like you might be tragic.
Moms and dads, family, friends, barbecues on Sundays. Faster cars, good cigars, better whiskey, instant replays. We got it good, got it made, don't forget what matters when you're chasing down that happy ever after. Raise them up to the small town believers. Hats off to the fighters and the leaders. Here's to you, here's to me, here's to us being free. Raise them up to the highway bleeders. Hats off to the farmers and the preachers. Say a prayer for the ones that allow us to be the American dreamer. They serve, they pay the price to fly the flag for the ones that give their lives. Raise them up to the small town believers. Hats off to the fighters and the leaders. Here's to you, here's to me, here's to us being free. Raise them up to the highway bleeders. To the farmers and the preachers. Say a prayer for the ones that allow us to be the American dreamer. The American dreamer. The American dreamer. Raise them up to the fans and the bleachers. Hats off to the lovers and the healers. Here's to you, here's to me, here's to us being free.
Well, that's really great. And timing couldn't be more perfect with Memorial Day just behind us. And we're all feeling a little more thankful and patriotic.
Sure.
I think that one's going to pop up to the top every year.
I hope so, man. Just it's one of those ones that I can go, all right, I finally, like I did this thing that I'm super proud to share. You know, I'm proud of all of it. Don't get me wrong, but it's just one of those things when you can feel it inside. There's something special about it. You know, with what's going on, and definitely this song for sure, because it's not, you know, it's not one of those songs we just put out to say, hey man, this is going, we gotta get famous off of this. This is what it's talking about. Like, it's just from the heart. You know what I mean? It's just real life. So
yeah, it's the kind of song that I think once people know it, this will be one of the ones that when you play it, people will be singing along.
Yeah, and we get that reaction now with just the shows we're playing. You know, we do well with our shows, but, you know, we're not selling out arenas, but the ones that are there, you can see them lip syncing along. So it's pretty cool.
You got to love that every time you see it, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, man. Those songs are, when you're a writer, that's your baby, man. So, I mean, anybody wants to relate to a songwriter that doesn't write, think about it. If you got kids, they're your kids, man. Your songs are your kids when you're a writer. So
Love seeing other people love those things.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, let's wrap this up with you telling us where to find you online, on stage, and where we can buy or listen to all your music.
Okay, perfect. Well, so I'm pretty easy to find. Just ask Google, Alexa, say, "Hey, Matt Tucker music." If you ask Alexa and she can't find me and she confuses me with a football player named Matthew Tucker, well, just add music behind Matt Tucker, and I should pop up. That's my website. That's pretty much all my handles on social medias. Although my Instagram is Matt Tucker Music Official. We've had some hacking issues through the years with identity theft, and still dealing with some of it. But rebuilding is part of anything, I guess. So, you know what? Something else to talk about, to say, man, he was so cool, they had to steal his accounts.
That's it. I love it.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Spotify, Tidal, Amazon, iTunes, YouTube Music. I'm on every platform. And if I'm not, and you look me up, please send me a message. It's easy to get in touch with me. Matt Tucker Music on Google, and on everything else, it's Matt Tucker Music. So, yeah, I'd love to. And shows, we're playing shows. My schedule will be on my Facebook pages, my website. Right now, I still got updates to do on my website with it, but shows are coming up.
Awesome.
I've got something for CMAFest next week that we're going to be at next Friday on the 7th of June, I believe. So we will be over in Nashville for CMAFest over at Live Oak on Demonbreun Street with the Country Network. Signing autographs, meeting people, shaking hands, kissing babies. Hey, if there's a guitar hanging on the wall, I might grab it off and play a tune if somebody wants to hear one. So come over there. But yeah, I got shows coming up around South Carolina area, Southeast region. And you know what? Just look us up online, man. Find us. And if there is a venue in your area that you would like us to play, please send me a message and we'll absolutely see about coming there.
Awesome. Well, thanks for joining us, Matt. It's been a blast getting to know you a little bit better.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate your time today. And hey, holler at me, man. I don't mind sitting here talking as much as you want to.
Will do. Ladies and gentlemen, Matt Tucker. Right, so man, what do you guys think? Is American Dreamer going to be your new favorite song? This has been Mark Gilliat for AIM Country Music Television. Thank you for watching.
Us being free, raise them up to the highway bleed.